Okay, now, as for the experiences, the appearances of Jesus, Dr. Craig said that I deny these. I do not. I do not deny that the disciples had an experience which they interpreted, which they took as being an appearance of Jesus. I think they probably did. Well, how do we account for that? How can we say that they could possibly have had such an experience? Well, once again, he far too quickly and dismissively disregards the explanation of hallucinations. I was just simply reading the Encyclopedia of Psychology recently. It says that 1/8 to 2/3 of normal human beings experience waking hallucinations. Now, one of the standard characteristics of many hallucinations is that they seem extremely real. So, very many of these experiences, which occur, as I say, to a very considerable segment of the population, seem extremely real at the time.
These cases have to be assessed on a case-by-case basis. You can't dismiss the resurrection narratives on the basis that some other spurious miracle stories have occurred. You have to assess each one on its own merits. And what I fear from your response is that this watchword, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, is really just an excuse for an a priori rejection of the miraculous, because you weren't, or you didn't give any sort of evidence that would satisfy you with respect to one of these extraordinary claims. It made it sound like, to me, you were saying that nothing would convince you, no matter what.
No, all sorts of things would convince me.
Well, with respect to the resurrection, though, I mean, you even said if there was a video camera, you'd say it was a fake stone that was rolled away. You know, I mean, what sort of...
That would be the more reasonable hypothesis under the circumstances.
Well, but see, that's what I fear. It is. It's just an a priori rejection of the miraculous here. You're not. There isn't any kind of literary testimony, historical testimony that could convince you.
So once again, these extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence in no way implies a bias against the supernatural. It's simply an application of a rule which we use in our daily lives.
But you're saying that when you say extraordinary, really what you're saying is no amount of evidence would convince me of these extraordinary claims.
Sure it would. If tomorrow morning, immediately after breakfast, suddenly there was an earthquake, you know, and a silvery light shone in the sky and the leaves dropped from the trees, and I dashed outside, and there, towering over us like 100 Everests, was this giant figure with lightning playing around his Michelangeloid face, and he pointed down and saying, "Be assured, Keith M. Parsons, that I do in fact exist, and I'm sick of your logic chopping." Dr. Craig, I would join you in the pew of the church, in the front pew of the church the next Sunday.
Be going to the question and answer period. We're going to go to the question and answer period, so we'll be going to the microphone.
You don't think that you would have said, "Oh, I was having a hallucination."
I love that video. Yeah. So it really shows, like, I know for a fact, like, sometimes atheists just be slipping up. Because, I mean, now, after stuff like that happens, you know what atheists go back and do? They go back and double back and let's find an answer, an objection for this. Now we got to say, yeah, nothing would convince me. And then they keep it pushing. But it's like, whoa. So that means that no matter what type of conversation we have, you're just going to be a skeptic no matter what.
Exactly.
Like he said, I'm going to join you on the pew. But it's like, no, realistically, you're so skeptical that you're going to believe that that was a hallucination, that you had some crazy, vivid, realistic dream like people have all the time. And William Lane Craig, man, I know even Richard Dawkins does not, is it Richard Dawkins, Stephen Hawkins? I forget. But he doesn't want to debate him at all, because he's like, I don't want to hear your different views, your different premises of how God is real. You're different. Basically, he's calling them like assumptions. And it's like, no, William Lane Craig is philosophically laying out the most probable way that life could exist with a God. Like, y'all are sitting here.
They still don't want to accept that answer.
They don't want to accept. They don't even want to debate it. Like,
that's why, me personally, I don't go back and forth argue with people over this. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm like, you gonna believe what you want to believe, and nothing I can do to convince you otherwise. I'm not about to sit here and wait. I'm not about to sit here and run my blood pressure. I don't have time for that. Shoot, my blood pressure run up about enough as is. All right, I don't have time for that. You believe what you want to believe. You'll figure it out one day. You'll get a slap in your face. And you'll figure it out.
Yeah, and I just love the way that William Lane Craig handled that situation, because he really like gives them the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
He's like, yeah, let's take this as far as it'll, and that's what I think atheists don't really do. That's why they fail, because they don't take their position as far as it can possibly go, which would be to doubt your own consciousness.
Right.
And some people say, yeah, this is nothing. This is an interesting form of nothing. And it's like, wait a minute. Why are you saying this if you actually believe this is you don't act like you believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I really believe I'm nothing, I'm just going to be like sitting here and just like I'm not going to move. Like, what do you mean this is nothing? And you're so passionate to have this conversation. Like, what do you mean?
Man, why to tell them, okay, the sky's purple, you got it. Next. I ain't got time.
It's like y'all are trying really hard. And nobody tries that hard to doubt the existence of God unless there's some emotional reason. You can't tell me you logically came to this conclusion, because you logically come to conclusions that you believe you're actually here, you're actually talking. Like, what do you mean you're actually talking? If nothing is real, if God's not real, and that's not the most probable reason that we just came here, we got here, it's like, what are you talking about? This rock, like I could go into it all day, man. We don't have things just popping into existence from nothing. We would have a horse pop in this room if that's how things happened. If you could like study that, and this has only happened one time. Why? But they don't care about why questions, because it goes against scientific pursuit. It's like, okay, well, like I think that's my main question for atheists.
And
it's like, how do you know you're conscious?
And there's certain times that the scientific answers have been broken.
Yeah.
In certain events, there's certain things that even science couldn't explain. Why this happened? Why this person lived through this? Like, this should have killed him.
Yeah.
This gotta be of God. Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Yep. How do you close a plastic bag and leave some food in there, and all of a sudden life forms?
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Life came from the air formed together and like what? You know what I'm saying?
Man, certain things they can't be explained. So,
Yeah, man. So I wanted to go